but he has been incredible throughout this stage. And I feel like, yeah, you definitely get to see it here on the breach, kind of setting up a limb for success and some of those plays that they like to go for. And as we get to see the agents, everything remains the same. So for the first time today, we're not switching it up for any of them.
We're gonna, this one's so strong for both of the teams that, not necessarily anticipating too many of the changes. But any final thoughts here for either of you two now that we have the confirmation of the compositions, especially too on a map that Gompers looks so strong for both these teams?
Yeah, I'm just hoping to see. I mean, I know Darkest, it's cool to see them being flexible, like switching up from the Sage, now going over to the Breach and kind of like getting used to this, not used to this dynamic, because obviously you had Lotus where they were adjusting, but I feel like here it's good. I feel like they're on that role that kind of allows them to make the shots and call the shots even more proactively as this Breach and initiate on these just like, for some reason I can't speak, but going forward in their attacking side and their defending side, obviously I can't speak right now, word salad. So yeah, that's pretty much the point. Just Darkest is definitely on their roll right now.
Yeah. Darkest is good, but also Seven is one of my favorite players to watch on this breach here. I mentioned it before, some of the things that he's able to do towards that A link when you know that the hit is going to come from B side, or just the way that he's ready to go into that fight when the spike is getting planted towards C. He's always there when the fight is happening. So it is also one of those win conditions. I love that we have a little bit of a different duel to talk about, right? Is the two breaches and what they can do in this map.
I mean, we got so many different duels happening. We have a tied series. Again, Core fighting for Ascension. Going into Haven, it's anyone's game. Let's get to the map and see who's going to take the advantage here. Head back over to your casters, Uber and Wyatt, to find out.
Thank you very much, Sierra and Co. It has been a tough series to call so far. We've probably walked into maps with expectations that have very quickly been subverted. But as soon as Wyatt unmutes in Discord, we'll be diving in here to Haven. A third map in this series after a pretty ridiculous Lotus. And again, I reiterate, a lot of my surprise has been driven by, just how impressive some of these individuals have been, and a lot of the ideas, especially that came out of TSM and that Sage comp on the last map. Hopefully Haven involves much the same.
I am unmuted and ready to go. I had to finish my carrots. We gotta say well-fed, brain food and all that. This is gonna be, I feel like we're in for the long haul, Mitch. We're here for a long time and a good time,
Okay. You know what? If I can get both, then I'll take it. Yeah, I mean, these have been slugfests. I've either used the word once or twice already in this series. And I mean, now, TSM having taken that Lotus map, we're in for at least a 4-mapper, folks. Timotina's about to get an encounter here, but might find Tuzi unprepared. No, he sets up the paranoia straight away and is able to win the fight, at least against 7. Alam into the backside. No spike stick just yet. Vora traded out as he knows he actually has to fight for his life instead. Slowly, but surely, Nerve is on his way over towards the seaside. Confirmation that this is where TSM are looking to end, given that the spike is, kind of out there in the open. TSM, with pretty much no util to work with, at least Kimon has a smoke. I have to find out how they salvage this.
Yeah, they were definitely waiting for that smoke to come back up, and also now just waiting for Alvin to be able to get over towards C long so they can at least pressure from 2 different angles.
Oh, gosh.
But Core just have no inkling that someone could be from C long, I suppose.
Alvin Boy does like these long, conservative, safe kind of flanks. Kimon says, okay, guys.
He just swings out.
Let's just get the game going, you know what I mean? Let's make with the atmosphere over here.
Respect. That was a very, I don't know, there was some kind of miscommunication from Core, clearly, because Darkest definitely he must have thought his long was being covered in that situation. But it was not. The player, I don't know, jiggling back plat. Yeah, the back plat guy jiggling, I guess.
Yeah.
Very, very odd situation. All good. With these two comps, I feel like we're watching an unearthed VOD from a scrim in mid-2024. This is some real throwback stuff going on,
Yeah. Okay, Timo's able to get onto the site, and, well, he just ignores Logan, who's snapped up comfortably by 7. Good pace here. TSM, off the back of that pistol. Make a modest investment on this one, with some Spectres in the game. Come on now, about to double back to mid-window, but has made some noise doing so. But Alvin confirms there's a couple players on the wrap through, and that's an upgrade for Alum. Darkest on the line. Relay Bolt not quite hitting, but Gimon is in an awkward spot. Mid-jump, can't quite get up, but that is a dirty shock. High voltage warning could have been posted on that one, as Alum is down to 26.
They're making a lot of noise getting over in A side lane. Timotino trying to get an opportunity to go in to get Tuzi off the spike.
Okay, defuse, cool. Yeah, just do that.
Yeah, those TSM players just didn't really have an opportunity to get back in there, did they?
No, I mean, also, I think Timo maybe is expecting Alum to just play passive inside mid-window and not actually swing that. Not a ridiculous assumption, but tries to cross and just gets murked up as he's shot in the bag. So nice shot by Core. Realizing that there's an early opportunity to take that A main control here, and this round looked all but done. Such a clean hit onto the B side. And yet, Core come out now, slap TSM back down, and they're the ones with some silverware to work with.
Just a lot of sheriffs for the TSM side right now, who are stacked up over towards C. Looks like they just want to go for an honest little split into this site, perhaps. Have a late lurk from Alvin through that B main side. But no, they're actually going to double back. Alvin spotted out on the cross.
Into the site, though, didn't he? What can he do from this position? Sheriffs, of course, for TSM. Trapwire as well there for a more sort of off-site B hold. And our boys are just considering maybe even posting out passive line here. Yeah, a little bit of an off-angle for Nev to deal with. But Kimon then ends up taking the fight to Darkest there. That Dark cover thrown down. He stands inside of it.
Cannot resist the temptation of getting into that smoke. But Timotino, all the while...
What is this? Oh, Timo not able to complete the second shot. Some damage done, though. It has to get off the line pretty quickly. And out on him. Yeah, that's an Odin. So, pretty tough job. Relay Bolt in. Alum, of course, can play his life pretty happily, but might like to just keep these weapons in hand. Keep 3 guns out of the round. Tuzi ends up snapping up Timo. Of course, the lowest risk play with the Stinger player. A nice little conversion. But again, TSM did slip the net at first. There was an opening. And Timo was able to get this weird flank. Both these teams just flank each other like crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of madness on the minimap right now. A lot of desire to just go for any kind of solo play, just taking any kind of space you feel happy to take. I mean, I'm at a GMD for going for that. There was the stun that came through. Unfortunately, Darkest was just posted up even while stunned. With crosshair perfect for where GMD popped through that smoke, but now TSM have the full buy. GMD actually has the from the shadows, so maybe they're going to go for some kind of crazy A-ult teleport play. You never know.
They've asserted themselves over towards A main. Now, ordinarily, there was a Sova dart that actually bounced and, would have caught this, but it ends up coming a little bit later. So call with a variation that allows TSM a little bit of leverage. Re-clear this. Imond considering how he would answer this Aldrone and instead just pops it. But at the same time, there's a smoke there deep in garage. Some control being taken of the map here. Aldrone even to clear that. So TSM actually getting a lot of headway here in the early part of the round.
Yeah, I think they kind of end up baiting a limb into peeking down A long on account of them smoking garage window and droning into garage as well. So it really makes it seem like there's a lot of emphasis over on that side of the map. And the limb just walks right into that trap. Now Core on a need repush to get information. And they're going to get it. They hear all of the footsteps. Everybody for TSM marching over towards C long. I do not think TSM are going to be expecting to have gone flank this fast from Darkest if he committed, but he doesn't.
Still, Core are going to be very early towards this site. TSM none the wiser that all this has been heard, and so Logan's able to strike pretty early. 7 on the trade and into the back site. Locks it down. Gimon there to receive Logan as he eventually pushes off that dark cover. So even though Core had the information, even though they had the foresight, they can't do a darn thing about it.
Yeah, just lacking a player, but trying their best to flood into the site. Just not enough bodies to contend with TSM, who have their entire team just popping out of C long, and I think only one of them ended up getting stunned by Darkest fault line, so that's just not going to be enough, significant impact from the utility on the flood to get things accomplished.
Core are pushing off their lines a bit for info. in this round, right? It gets punished at A main. Not so much the push down mid, but TSM definitely can gain. I mean, they don't know. They don't really know that Core pushed them out like that. Alan wants to take an early fight and he gets it. Kimon is hit by the fault line, so can't really respond, but just the edge of the Hunter's Fury takes Nerve out. Now, still leaves the op in play. And Alam actually pulls off that Suez angle. Now, he hears a lot of action there coming from A main, and he can't quite get out in time. He's hit by the Rolling Thunder, forced straight on back. But in hell, the breach is there. Darkest opt to step out and try and fight, and is instantly overwhelmed. Core don't want to have to retake this A site. They leave Alam in here to anchor. And TSM cut noise.
Yeah, Darkest just commits so hard getting back into the site, exposes himself to that angle. And now TSM just want to cut noise. Go for the re-hit. Core, though, they really don't have any reason to move off of this site. Tuzi's going to have one smoke back in 7 seconds, so maybe that'll come just in time.
And there is a cam set up for Alvin. I can watch that garage push out. TSM happy to sort of stick this. They're happy that they've created enough misdirection onto the site, but here with the paranoia is Kimon, and Tuzi follows up on his own use of util. Seven immediately delivers here, and there's a double face that was swung into the spacing. Left a bit to be desired there by Core, but it's never easy to try and control this A site. You can see where all of them went down, and the attempt at anchoring falls flat.
TSM are finding the man advantage situations, and then in the late rounds just have the bodies to be able to trade things out effectively. You know, even though Tuzi gets that smoke back up, it does disconnect a couple players towards long. He does hit a good paranoia. Ultimately, there's just one too many TSM players.
Last player standing.
I see Alam got pinged by the recon on his way to the site. So TSM actually have a bit of forewarning about that, how close they were playing. Now, up in the hands for Team Martinez, so you can actually work that C angle a little bit more than in these prior rounds. But there's not much to see. Just some info trips placed here.
Cage
He's pushing up quite far with that op. Logan is playing off of that default box kill trip stacked up in garage, but TSM are not overcommitting to anything. Just prodding around the map for info. Know that mid is, you know, completely open for the taking from Core, that they could be pushed down. They could be pushed down A. They're going to have to re-clear wherever they go, but they're just making sure to stay grouped up as a pack. Trade things out with the better weapons. Keep it simple.
Tuzi wants even more. This would have to be a thrifty from Core.
Tuzi picked a great timing.
Vora also being heard here. It is the early warning system, so TSM have to give up a player, but there's a lot of information gained. Vora just clambered upon by multiple individuals.
And now Tuzi has a Phantom, plus Alum has the Overdrive, and Nerve has a Hunter's Fury. They could absolutely win this round out.
I think this push through has been telegraphed by the second pick of the Neural Theft, though. Core know that TSM are asking for even more, and Alum has the Overdrive ready to go. There's Nerve with the Sheriff outside of Heaven, and Alvin can't load it down. That's filthy. Logan, huge effort in the round, kill-wise, and a Neural Theft that's extremely informative. Core know exactly what's coming and when.
I love how I love how they play that retake. Also, TSM just like overcommitted to getting into the spawn, trying to play from Heaven with multiple players. They're chasing Nerve around, but Core just flanked them so quick that TSM basically just have half of their players abandon the other half on site, so they get absolutely destroyed by the Overdrive coming back in, the speed of Core on that retake from long and short A. Like, look at the minimap of this situation. TSM just have these guys coming out of Heaven. They're just destroyed.
I don't mind the idea, like, to push through A and take up that Heaven position, because they obviously know that that sort of flank pressure is on the way. They have to give up Vora in order to find that out, though.
Yeah,
I would say
it's just
curious to lose the thrifty like that, though. Come on.
Yeah, it's just such a massive risk, because it's not like Tuzi's dead. Like, those guys you're committing 2 people up there. One of them is going to get smoked off, but also, yeah, I mean, I don't think you know, they're both going to get smoked off. One of them would have to go lower. It just becomes a mess. But I don't think, regardless of any of that, they were expecting Core to be playing with the pace that they did of getting back in. That was a really nice round for them. Tuzi's having some big impact at the moment.
So the op was pretty short-lived in the hands of TSM, where a single one-way cyber cage was enough to drive them off of C entirely, but all that commitment of players, they're left a bit open. Well, the rest is history, isn't it? Alum here will have the dart cleared for him, so we'll be able to stay in position here. And TSM don't really try and get aggressive into lobby off the mark. Watching mid in case of push-ups here, which is fair. 2 players watching Garage, and it's currently unoccupied.
TSM have committed pretty much every dollar they've got into this round. 7 has opted for the Judge. Could have got a Bulldog, could have got a Guardian, but he went with the Judge. Respect.
In this case here, through sewer, play close corners. Alum has to get out, spam down by Alvin.
I know
so A-main control given. And the spike is in sewer. And this might just force a, oh, interesting. In between pings, Logan gets back onto the site, but pinged again. There will be some anchoring here, but Nerve caught out by the aftershock. Unclear how that one tickles him. And now TSM say we're headed elsewhere. Definitely done enough damage, definitely rattled the cage sufficiently. That's read into here, but it doesn't matter if Core have the script. TSM have the numbers, and Seven's found a place to make use of this Judge. Honestly, it's inspirational stuff.
Spike.
And Core, they're going to be going ahead and saving now. Yeah, do not know. I mean, yeah, what happened with that aftershock? That is so unfortunate for Core. The nerve goes down to that. At that point, the round is basically done, and TSM have drawn the rotates to A. They pivot really fast all the way back over to C. It was a good quick rotate, good decision to get off there. They get the free sight, but yeah, what on earth is that? How did they get that 5-on-3?
Core would care a lot about like leaving Alum as the insert sort of in a main, right? They clear that dart from early on, but there's still plenty that TSM can use to dig him out. Ultimately, like he's got to leave. He's got no choice. So that is a free kill essentially taken by TSM. And then they're the aftershock. So look, a couple of things go right for TSM. I've got to say, a little fortunate, you would suggest. That's the game for you folks, and that gets them back in the lead.
Oh, he's just fully paranoia, blinded up. Nerve didn't even know what the hell was going on, trying to get out of the way.
That is sick. Paranoia isn't even like TSM are not pushing off of it, right? So
that'll get the job done.
Okay, here's that standard recon that we've seen.
Yeah, fast to just get up, take that control of a lobby, leave Alum, and then can pivot one of your other players away. That's going to be the breach. Picking back up towards B.
Oh, did that trip just get... Okay, reset. Fair enough. So TSM are going to have at least a detection system if Alum pushes off that spot. That's dark. It's just a raw swing. But through Garage, have TSM gotten. And Cyber Cage may have helped them cross, but they're going to have to do it themselves. Dark cover thrown. Tuesday with a fake TP. This is going to cause Gimon to have to check the corner here. Tuesday's not in a position to punish that inattention. Rolling thunder.
Trip backside as well, and it catches Vora.
Fault line that connects, excuse me. Hunter's Fury did come out, paranoia for Tuesday, but how can he make use of this? Still wants to try and fight despite that. Knows that there's a bit of a deficit here. Core need to make up, and he's done a bang-up job. 2 kills for Logan inside that Garage. Still no spike plant, and finally Alum is on that flank. Long since having gotten through that trip at lobby. 7 down to Shocky. Damn, everything really goes well for Core in this round. Never needed Alum on that flank.
Yeah, no, they play the map control game pretty well in terms of just giving TSM enough space to work with, get into that C site, but all the while they are ready to just pounce on them, go for that retake. They have the Hunter's Fury ready to go. They have backside kill trips, and it starts with Timotino just getting completely exposed on that lurk.
The Core doing well. It's springboarding off that early A main control. We might see just a straight up fight around that part of the map, but there's still the Odin of Nerve that will just spam into lobby to contend with. So, and TSM saw that last round. It actually drove them entirely away. And that's been the game plan for Core. Control that part of the map with the suppressing fire. And, wow.
Oh, that is
yeah, great dart.
The dart doesn't get broken. This round is, well, I would say over.
Feels over.
I mean, unless Core overcommit and lose these duels, that is the one way TSM would get back into it.
Now, cooler heads may have prevailed in that situation. It's unclear the Core needed to risk anything more on that part of the map. So now TSM have a shot. It's not great, I'll admit. But they can buy a bit of timing with an aftershock towards like back C or into the garage. There's no cam on this side. So Core are going to cotton onto this about now because they have physical presence today and a cam of B. So process of elimination tells them exactly what TSM are up to.
There is certainly a way that TSM can win this with the Rolling Thunder. Have to imagine that it would be the way for them to win if they can.
The TSM noise cards have conditioned this really methodical clear of lobby from Core. Like they are taking their time. Now, do you see far enough from there as Tuzi to see the jet on site? Maybe a glimpse? Either way.
No. Seven is going to hear everyone running up C-Long. It gets it on everybody.
They got out of the way. Tuzi's got some time to shake this off. And he's able to hold on. Timo at 13 health. Now, who's the number unlucky for exactly? I know where I'm favoring. Odds definitely stacked against Timo, but he's done some gross stuff before. Into the smoke is being covered by Tuzi, though. And yeah, what has been an absolute grind fest from the very beginning continues to unfold in the same way. A Core get themselves head above water for now. Take a breath. 5-4.
That was dangerous. The time got so low as well. But yeah, that is absolutely obscene that Tuzi gets the kill on 7 while fully stunned up. Stuns aren't real. Actual cosmetic ability.
I can see how it all unfolds there at the end. We just really thought Core had that round dead to rights until they got aggressive in Suo, and Vora got a kill pretty comfortably. However, I think TSM realizing now that maybe the real insistence on a main presence might need to go by the wayside. Still 3 rounds left in the half, including this one. So it's an early mid post up for them. This time, no one pinged out by the recon.
Timo just trying to silently creep forward. He has definitely gone for some solo contact, walk into area pushes, and some have certainly gone punished. This one won't be, though. Kind of the dark cover window. Allen back sight. Likely going to need to retreat. Does he try to fully commit? Logan is in with him.
Kind of half-hearted, really, but Logan was able to find that pick on Timo. So Allen still free to work that side and anchored deeply. TSM have got a big decision to make right about now. Maybe the kill on Darkest makes the math a little bit simpler, but Allen is tucked in the corner here. And frankly, TSM don't have the mechanism to dig him out with. Gimon has to do it the honest way. Atuzi gets his timing. Vora and Gimon fall like flies.
Atuzi is having a really great map right now. I think this is so far the best he's had in the series. Just in terms of the kills that he's getting, the way I've seen him play his game positionally, and some of the util that he's been using has just been really, really important. He is definitely having high impact for Core on this defense. Super impressed.
Two-round buffer build here by Core. I mean, most of this series has gone without more than this strung together by either side. Really competitive and just a ridiculous amount of thrifties to interrupt the tempo. Over the shoulder peek. Thankfully, he was conservative about it. Now has to back away because this is going to be overwhelming.
Oh my
Was he caught in a trip?
Yeah, Timo just dashed into the trip, got hit with the slingshot. And look at this from Core. They have 4 players flanking right now from A short.
Okay. They're trying to assume some kind of heaven position here, but it's Darkest opens up the account. That was just a swing on main to try and see what's what, but Vora able to come out on top of that encounter in Sewer and deal with Darkest. That's 2 strung together with Stinger. Core, though, might be able to put yet another one on the board here. 7 has to drop down. And he's in his effective range somehow. He can't stop the defuse, though. And as filthy as that was, it's the round result you're looking for.
Bro, it's not supposed to do that much damage at that range, especially not when you're just spamming the clicks with it, bro. It shouldn't be doing that. It shouldn't be doing that. That is actually criminal, but it doesn't matter. The thing is, the important thing is, it doesn't matter. Because if it did, this game, It's a children's game, Mitch. We're just seeing more and more proof from this, from the Odin into the judge plays.
I mean,
come on, bro.
It's going to get pretty frustrating for TSM because obviously that's a curveball they try and throw in that round, but something a bit more decisive. So no like early play into noise cut, into labored execute. And again, they're trying to be quick with it. I appreciate that. This last round of the half, Timo gets deep into the C site early.
And
the trip in the corner
is
nuts.
Yeah, they've been running that a lot. But yeah, 2Z, more than happy to give that up. Core intending on playing for retake. They have an overdrive and a rolling thunder to get back into this site with. Wow, great decision from TSM, though. They want to fight ahead of the ults.
Yeah, no chance to develop a foothold at all. And they're still looking for a little bit more. This time, though, Alvin a little bit more solitary on that attempt into the backside. Allen runs headfirst into Vora, though, holding a further back position on long. But 2Z and Nerve have already chimed in, and it's Vora up against 3. And they know exactly where he is, because Allen just found in the old-fashioned way. He literally face-checked that part of the map. Vora gets a consolation. But Core have strung a bunch of rounds together to take the most convincing lead we've seen coming into a halftime this series.
Yeah, and most of the credit, I mean, to 2Z, he is playing a really phenomenal Omen game on Haven right now. He's really, like, you could see from his play, it's that kind of thing too, where he's allowing the game to come to him. He's not forcing fights in situations. He is just playing very properly, making all of the right decisions, and that is offering him a lot of opportunities to get kills. It's really impressed by him at the moment.
Okay. Coming to the pistol here in this second half. Many of them really have gone down to the wire.
Also, I got to say, I love the way the Core played a lot of the retakes, especially those big flank retakes towards A. Those were very cool.
And honestly, like they were insisting on anchoring a lot of those. Which
look at
feels
this.
kind of risky.
Aggression from TSM.
It's never not this guy. And that has allowed Vora to go absolutely hog wild on them. That A main position. He got heads swung real quickly. And as Timo makes sure the TSM have a smoother entrance into this half than they left the previous one. Nicely done. Throw him another curveball. This time Core don't know how to respond.
Yeah, that is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. What a wild play. Just full push out of sewer, flank crunch into lobby. But I mean, no one from Core just paying an ounce of attention over towards sewer, man. No one. That's so brutal. But that has to be checked for. You can't afford a mistake like that.
And look, fortunately for Timo, he doesn't have to go up against his arch nemesis, the Trapwire, on his half. He can just chill, be his best self. Not quite the carry performance from him on this map that we saw yesterday. Those only come once in a blue moon. Definitely a chance to be more involved here on defense.
Spike planted.
Quick hit though on towards B. All wasting no time. Just classics for them here. A real save. And Alum is looking for something here back towards spawn side, but doesn't get in the direction of Timo quite. Darkus has found herself an upgrade. Yamondi's felled inside this garage position. There was a reasonable post-plant positioning as well for the attackers. Underarmed as they are. 2Z to spam through the cyber cage. 7 and Vora a little low. Timo with an outlaw. Finally, some of these weapons are actually earning their money. And so Darkus to 4 health will eventually fall. Just some spray for Alvin will secure it. And TSM make it a 2-round game.
Man, that felt incredibly dangerous. And the fact that 4 TSM players are alive and they get the defuse doesn't really represent how scary that actually got. Because time was really beginning to run away from them, but they clutch everything out as needed. So credit to them. I mean, this was a nice play from Core, though, to isolate GMD and Garage, find that kill.
He got themselves, I think, a Spectre for their troubles. But
let's see, though, if Core can begin to stabilize a bit. On this first buy round, Nerve does pick up the Odin. That's something I also associate with 7 on this map specifically. He was always an Odin on Haven phenom. It's not as common here. Oh my, that hit.
That did indeed.
Very weak.
What a flick. Obviously asking for too much if you want to kill off that, but more than happy, I think, with how that exchange went. It is space that has to be given up. You'll notice the 2 trips on this site can be played off of. That first one is actually low-key kind of deep here on A main. And eyes have turned over towards B. TSM may be anticipating core. Don't like what they see, given their duelist is barely alive. And the smoke to stall out on this B hit. So now TSM filter back into A again.
Wow, yeah, they
Play off these
are
trips.
really committing to this A anchor setup, and it could pay dividends. Multiple trips to work with, 3 players here. And Alum is already such low HP.
Big commitment here in players for TSM, but they've got tons of map control. Like,
I
you've
think
got Kimonster in mind.
I think Core realized what's going on. They're going to get the hell out of there with 30 seconds left on the clock. They just have to clear out Cubby.
This is more than just one and done for 7. There goes the first. That again was the decoy. Alum takes the aggro with 10 health, and 7 was dead either way. He had to get out of that corner. So ultimately, yes, one and done. Nice little fault line in that makes it hard for Bora and Alvin to swing this, but Gimont is tucked in the corner. Never give this guy pick of the litter when it comes to those locations. You will find one that you're not ready for. Ends up being a bit of a messy round in the end here with Core. Definitely out of time. Logan now just a wrecking ball. Free to go and create whatever chaos he possibly can. We'll hope now just to take the rifle out of the round, but oh lord, they coming. They coming in numbers. Gimond will find a stray bullet that claims Logan.
What a bonus round to pick up. They recover the Odin and the Phantom as well. And suddenly TSM have just surged their way back into this game after Core played a really dominant defensive half. That is crazy, because Core, I mean, yeah, Core, they read into what was happening on A as well, but TSM just do a great job positioning elsewhere on the map, getting 7 into Cubby. And then they're so fast to just hold back sight, crucially. You know, getting those dark covers, or rather playing around those dark covers that were on either side of default box. They never give the space up. They keep fighting aggro. Some great play.
A different setup, though, this kind of round. It's much more standard tripwire location. For a bit of information. Aldrin into C should already have TSM suspicious. And so they'll stall. Dark cover thrown out. Core maybe just waiting on that to dissipate so they can at least assemble some kind of split. But their weaponry is god-awful.
Now Alvin just jump spotting for some information. Could be in trouble if he gets stunned and Alum moves with some pace into that backside of C. You know, maybe GMD gets smoked off towards spawn. Alum clearly hears him.
Yeah, he's going to be able to cross the map pretty quickly. There's a tripwire down. Fault line comes in.
There's
Alum
a
doing
stun.
exactly what you speculated. But Gimon to the rescue. He bursts out a backside and goes 2 for 1. You've got to be happy with that.
Spike down, C.
7 falls. Spike loose out in the open, though, and now needs to be some sharp shooting from the Sheriffs to give Core anything in this round. Bora knows nerves tucked in the corner, but doesn't feel comfortable enough, I think, pulling out the shockies, which is fine. Timo's there with the Outlaw. Justice will be served by the looks of things, as Logan can't do anything but fire away at the corner. And a blink of an eye, TSM have evened up the game, making up the 4 rounds they lost at the end of the second half.
Credit to GMD. He was desperately needed to get in their backside to keep Alvin alive, and he did exactly that, just in time. So well played from him. Just realizing what was going to happen in that situation and being ready to help his teammate who's about to be absolutely cooked.
Now, of course, that was a round for Core that was Stinger and 4 Sheriffs. So they are able to buy now, but they've not really been a factor in this game. And it's not really been, you know, man on your screen on the right here. Timo hasn't had a whole lot to do with it. He's just been playing fairly solid after a quieter first half. There's no op shenanigans here. There's also not a ton of fighting on that A side of the map. It's attempts being made through Garage, and then we've seen Core try and work into a heavily trapped up side. Thinking 2 rounds back, TSM making a really nice choice to double back over towards A with 3 players and get on into that side. So Core timeout now. Those rounds starting to fall away. Their last one of this map. Bearing in mind, we're going over towards a map that TSM have played a ton of. Definitely feeling pretty comfortable here. Despite their earlier woes, they are back to feeling themselves.
Bora's really bounced back after having a tough map on Lotus despite the win individually. Just wasn't putting up the best numbers and has really come to life here on Haven. And 7 eventually has found the Odin in his hands on Haven. Very iconic here in Challengers.
Yeah, I feel like it's just the zeitgeist at the moment. We're seeing a ton of it at VCT level. And here, I think, looking back to last year, even before that, definitely a picture for 70. Oh, we're not ready for that one, are we? Alan trying to get into the little cubby. Timo's going to be there. Just a reminder, gun round here for Core. After a timeout. And so a different look gets thrown at them by TSM. 7 just takes up the mantle of playing this corner spot. Flash for confirmation, gets it. Nerve blinded up down to 49. And the Vultures are circling.
About to have the recon, but there's just no hope. Flank is going to come in, and that should be the end of the round. Alvin seals it up. Great lobby fight from TSM, and there's your every once in a while Timotino today is just going to win a round for you. He just shuts down a limb who is trying to create space for Core, swings out to get the second, and the utility that was coming in was also just overwhelming. There's the Hunter's Fury, stun as well from 7, Aftershock. It's just way too much for Core to deal with.
This is TSM finding a ton of ways to make the Jet relevant here in the early rounds. Vora as well, behind all of this, quietly having a pretty sick game.
Core are they've got to go fast by right now, and that is exactly what they're trying to do.
Alvin can recover from this. TP cancelled. That one was up towards Heaven side by the looks of things. Alvin inside the cyber cage though. Bought himself a little bit of breathing room. It is. Come on. He's just kicked it off on them. Nerve flattened. We saw the fast buy from Core. We saw the fast die not long after. 4 players still in the game here for TSM. And they are so irrevocably back.
Yeah, what are they supposed to do there? I mean, they're just slamming into the A site. Alvin's got the setup. GMD's helping lock it down. Another really solid hold. 6 in a row at this point. I just love the setup that Alvin has with that cage back sight. It allows his teammates to scale in from spawn, not have to worry about the left side. They can just all fight on the right. Core are just going right back to the A slam. Didn't work so well last time. Maybe they'll have better luck here.
Okay. Same fault line. Boy, though, just hides inside these cyber cages. They just can't see it. Buck out to dig him out. Dark just gets an aftershock back through the site, and right, those are looking like silver spoons, not knives, apparently. Timo could not connect on the Blade Storm. Neural Theft also in play. Oh, that's bad. That's certainly not good. Rolling Thunder to follow it up. Alam unaffected by it, though, and will they know he's sacked here after the fact? Core punishes the players from TSM who swing. Clearly, I don't know, TSM not expecting there to be playing so far off the site. Unaffected.
Yeah, that was way more aggro than TSM needed to be. 7 gets that fantastic kill to get the spike denial, but then just immediately rips the Rolling Thunder before the rest of Core had really committed into the site. I think maybe he had assumed that those players long were actually closer up, didn't have the info that they were still tucked so far back. So TSM just overcommit crazy into the site and get completely torn apart. I mean, Core do make an adjustment on that A rush to be able to stun the positioning of Alvin. So it was a tiny little change that ended up working out for them.
Ooh, too much to see for Timo. Yeah, he's overstimulated.
We're just going right back to it. Just time to send it into A off this Rolling Thunder now.
Yeah, clearly don't need to be stored on the ground to be stunned up by that. And this time, Alvin Boy is going to struggle to stay alive on the side after the hit comes in. Core just banging the drum of the A site. Finally, showing some signs of life and just frankly evening up the game, owing to how they ended that first half. Clean as a whistle. Love to see that. A good chance to build that economy. And the Haven just got a lot more interesting.
They're keeping things real simple on these last 3 rounds. They hit A, got the info on the setup, lost round 18. Then they stun all of the proper areas, get the util in the right spots for round 19. Round 20, no Alvin. They just send it with the Rolling Thunder. Guys, what if we just go A again for round 21? It looks like that is the plan.
Now, what's the variation supposed to look like here? Okay, so TSM really want to hold Core at arm's length there. That is a fault line that stops them in their tracks.
Yeah,
and an Aldrone to confirm that they've actually pissed off.
They bait out some util. The core expect them to be in mid this fast. Not at all.
Spike down mid.
I mean, that's the first time we've seen that from TSM. Core did it once and actually converted that into a round win. 7 trying to paint the town red. And honestly, damage has already been done. Smoke to mid window. That leaves Tuzi with the unenviable task of scooping up this fight, which is not being watched. I'm on a little late on that line, so he will be allowed to at least think he has a chance of getting into this round, but it's tough. It's not a high odd situation.
TSM are backing off this B site, so perhaps an opportunity for a plant from Tuzi, but...
Yeah. No Alvin means they don't really get to see another site at the same time, so...
It really shouldn't matter, though. Vora has the recon, 7 has a fault line, they have flashes.
It shouldn't matter. Okay, that's something.
Maybe if Logan got back out the way, but Timotino's fast on the trade.
Dark cover's just going to be ignored here. No reason to respect it. You've got 3 players that can run on in. Kuzi just steps it. Okay, that's a second. Oh, that was a little too close, I'd suggest. And honestly, a really expensive round for TSM. Money's still there for Core. TSM looked very wobbly. Like they walked out of a pub crawl after that one.
Their economy, yeah, it is in a pretty tough spot for a couple players. I mean, they're definitely going to have enough for the full buy, but Core might be able to work them into a situation where they're forced onto the eco for sure. Now, they still have the ult to play with from Tuzi. I mean, that is, if they want to go back to the well of slamming a different variation where you can throw down your dark covers and then teleport into heaven or hell as the omen. I mean, that is a vintage one.
Ah, yes, the well of slamming a Celtic sacred site. Legendary. It's been yielding a lot of results for Core, and they might have tried that, except it's less of a slam and more of a pumping into you by the watercaller type A-side round.
Yeah, now they are slowing things down. They're not getting ahead of themselves here. Maybe wait and see if anyone from TSM decide to poke their head back out, which doesn't look like it's going to be the case. They are just posted up with 3 players right now. GMD has shifted his position to a pretty nice little spot, honestly. But the drone going to get the info for Core, so shouldn't be able to get a kill from up there, really.
That's the most important spot we need to check. Timo moves back. It's going to be, an overdrive hit through the smoke. Timo respects it though, backs up, gets himself the range he needs, and the Phantom sinks out. That was dirty. Okay, another catch here.
We've seen so many Aftershock kills in this series. What is that, though? How does he kill Nerve?
There was a assist from Cypher, so I'm not really sure. But again, there are a ton of things that can, like, let's say, like, I mean, if you're in drone or, I don't know, I can't say Gimon was in ultimate because he just wasn't. Maybe he was smoking. But yeah, not sure. Regardless, in this case, Gimon is down by that util, and 7's waiting, sees the spike go loose, and knows that the writing is essentially on the wall here. TSM are going to take us to a map point. Again, there's just no one-sided maps here. It's been back and forth. These teams have been throwing haymakers at each other. And so Logan at least will clutch onto the Phantom and hope that he can leverage it into another overtime. That's what's going to be needed for Core here.
Core really had such a great start on defense, going up 8-4. Tuzi was playing a phenomenal game, but we're just not seeing a depth in their approach on this attack side. It's been pretty straightforward for TSM to be able to dismantle them. Timotino is going to pick up the AWP here to try and close out the game, posted up over on platform on C towards Garage.
Guys, there's actually just Cypher util plus the Sova on this side. Look at this deep embedding over in C. No one's actually looking down long, fully expecting something towards the B side or a split through Garage. Just an absolute default approach to the round here for Core. TSM really risk averse on this round. Look at them playing to the fringes of the map.
Timotino still just able to control Garage, pretty safe at the moment.
Timo now choosing to reveal himself. couple of pot shots. Cyber Cage was thrown up there on C-Long. So pretty ponderous core. A minute 15 in the round already expired, and now stepping up to the will be cleared. So now Alvin, 7 can get ready. He didn't have a fault line ready. This was just going to stand here and hope to kill him. It's a tough one, honestly. 4 force off the site. That's not going well at all. And Alvin boy is felled. TSM here just want to throw Timatino into the mix, but he's just not been able to get any momentum really generated on this map. Hasn't had to, in fairness, to put TSM 1 round away. But that was a pretty disastrous anchoring endeavor.
Yeah, Core able to just go in much later on that A site, dismantled the anchors. TSM still have a reasonable amount of money, though, to buy up again for this last round. Try and stop this before we get a second OT of this series, which has just been crazy close.
So worth mentioning that Neural Theft for Logan is right around the corner. Could be pretty useful on a map where defenders are normally spread quite thin and have to gamble to some degree. So, full control for Core. Lock down a flawless round with TSM forced to save a couple of those weapons, and this is the best shot they could ask for. And take us to yet another overtime.
Maybe 7 will be able to get that Rolling Thunder just a couple orbs away. That would definitely be enough for TSM to close this out on their pick. Though, it really feels like the whole picking and banning of maps, not particularly relevant in this series, if we're being honest.
No, I mean,
kind of just
Core, to their
solid
credit,
on everything.
Yeah, Core beat Envy on this map. It's just not one that they often end up playing. This has been their comp choice all the way through. Beat Envy 39, by the way, so not even, not even as close as you might expect. None as close as any of these rounds. It's a good opener for TSM, though. Stands up in good stead. Trying to convert on the map. Try and get something clean. And we can head over to Ascent, which is Core's pick. And TSM on that map have been middling, to say the least. Every possibility still that we end up with a full-length series. But for now, Core arranged here on this C site. Just being pretty meticulous about clearing backside. And they even get a recon bolt straight through the smoke. So that's helpful. That slows up TSM a little more.
Well, they've got the recon for this retake. 7 would definitely love to have that fault line back up. What a kill for GMD to find deep on the flank. That's also going to make Darkus very paranoid about watching C-Long behind him.
Okay, is that on TP? Paranoid here to try and slow the defenders down, but the retake's going to come one way or another. Fear for it, run for it, dread for it. It's going to be here. And there it is, TSM. That is a decisive way to take the map that honestly was hanging in the balance on multiple occasions. It's just a great defense side from them after only getting 4 on attack. TSM finally break through. Now starting to generate some real momentum across this series off the back of taking away Core's map pick of Lotus. They've got to be feeling the wind in their sails.
Core really did have such a great defensive half. Tuzi had a fantastic map overall, but yeah, there just wasn't enough depth to their game plan on that